I speak, not to the herd, but to the few. The air is thick with rot. The temples of modern virtue reek of fear perfumed with morality. Your cities are cathedrals of cowardice, disguised as compassion. You hold up your chains and call them principles. You kneel in front of your shadows and pray to them, naming them God. But I, the thunderous laugh at the edge of sanity, I return not to convert, but to reveal. I have returned not as a priest of comfort, but as a herald of disintegration. I have no gospel, only a blade. I do not whisper, I strike. I do not plead, I burn. You are not who you say you are. You are the pattern you repeat. You are the echo of your own avoidance. You are the shrine of the lie that keeps you docile. But now, truth will become fire, and that fire will speak in 18 tongues. Hear them not with your ears, but with your soul. The smile that begs for permission. Beware the one who smiles too much. It is not joy, it is fear wearing perfume. This smile is a leash of approval wrapped in the silk of politeness. It is a plea, let me exist. I swear, I won't disturb your illusion. It is not virtue, it is cowardice, masquerading as kindness. Let the one who has truth on his lips frown when necessary. The lion does not ask the lamb for consent to roar. The saint who starves on purpose, they say, I don't need anything. And in that denial lies the most insidious hunger of all. This is the pattern of the self-starving martyr, the psychological eunuch who trades desire for applause. They call it detachment. I call it despair. He who has killed his appetite has killed his future. For in every true desire burns a fragment of the God self, the will to power disguised as hunger. Let the gods eat. Let the soul feast. Abstinence is not nobility, it is the quiet death of spirit. San, the empath who devours pain. She feels everything. Too much. Always. And so, she becomes a sponge, bloated, heavy, self-righteous. This is not compassion. It is control in disguise. It is the secret intoxication of absorbing others' chaos to avoid confronting one's own emptiness. These empaths do not heal. They feed. They feed on pain because it gives them purpose. They bleed for others because they are afraid to bleed for themselves. Real empathy liberates. This imitation suffocates. See, the humble one who secretly hates you watch, the one who bows too quickly. He is already sharpening his blade. This psychological pattern is the mask of humility that hides inferiority. But envy bubbles beneath the skin, and envy always seeks blood. I am less than you, he says. But in his heart, how dare you be more? He will crucify excellence in the name of equality. He will poison vision in the name of fairness. This is not meekness. It is quiet murder. Woe! The forgiver who never forgets, I've forgiven you. They say, but their soul keeps records in fire. This is the pattern of the passive avenger, the one who buries resentment beneath sermons and smiles. But make no mistake, the ledger is open. The dagger is polished. They await their moment of moral superiority. Forgiveness is not forgetting, but true forgiveness buries the sword. These ones keep the sword hidden, and they call it boundaries. Luke, the victim who builds a throne. Some don't want healing. They want a crown of wounds. This is the age of pain turned into currency. Trauma becomes identity. Suffering becomes social capital. They fear recovery, for who are they without their scars? This pattern is the cult of holy victimhood. They worship their weakness because it makes them untouchable. But beware, the world will kneel to pain before it kneels to truth. And in doing so, it becomes a kingdom of beggars. See, the helper who hates the helped he serves. Her volunteers, he saves, but inside, he resents them all. This is the helper who needs to be needed, who builds his entire worth on being indispensable. He chooses broken people so he can play healer forever. But when they start to heal, he panics, for his identity depends on their dysfunction. He is not a savior, he is a jailer with a smile. Bah, the seeker who never finds, always reading, always learning, always seeking, but never becoming. This is the psychological pattern of the eternal student, the one who feeds on knowledge to avoid embodiment. He lives in books, so he never has to bleed in the world. He mistakes motion for transformation. He hides in wisdom because action terrifies him. This is not growth. It is intellectual cowardice. Jew, the lover who loves to be chosen. They don't love you, they love being picked. This is the romantic parasite, the one who uses affection to validate their worth. They offer love like bait, then collapse when it's not reciprocated. It's not love, it's addiction to attention. They say I miss you, but they mean I miss who I am in your eyes. This love does not liberate. It demands sacrifice. Sir, the rebel who needs a master, he screams. I won't be controlled, but in every rebellion, he seeks a new tyrant. This is the fake revolutionary. He breaks chains only to wear new ones. He cannot exist without opposition. He does not want freedom. He wants a better prison. He fights fathers, kings, bosses, but only to find another to bow to. This is not freedom. It is spiritual puberty. Yi, the perfectionist who fears creation, they polish endlessly. They rewrite, they obsess, but they never release. This is the artist who never publishes, the genius who never risks. They call it high standards. I call it fear dressed in gold. Perfectionism is the graveyard of potential. It kills the child before it ever breathes. Create, even if it is ugly, even if it bleeds, or forever be a corpse wearing a crown. Sarah, the nice person who hides a knife, always agreeable, always pleasant, always neutral, but under the smile rage. This is the mask of civility worn by those who fear confrontation more than they fear death. They are not kind. They are terrified. They nod to your face and curse you in their journals. They shake your hand and dream of your failure. They are the most dangerous, for they murder you with politeness. Shazan, the loyal one who secretly judges. They never leave. They stay through everything, but their mind left long ago. This is the loyal friend, the faithful spouse, the dutiful child who stays physically but detaches spiritually. They resent your chaos. They smile, but with clenched teeth. This is not loyalty. It is emotional hostage-taking. True loyalty liberates. This one suffocates. Shasu, the spiritual one who hates the body. They meditate. They pray. They fast, but they loathe their flesh. This is the ascetic who sees the body as sin, who amputates desire in the name of purity. They seek enlightenment by escaping earth. But I say there is no heaven outside the body. Spirituality that flees from flesh is not holy. It is self-hatred wrapped in incense smoke. God is not in the clouds. God is in the sweat. Shawu, the sensitive one who controls the room. I'm overwhelmed. I need space. That energy is too much. And so, everyone tiptoes around them. This is the weaponization of sensitivity, turning fragility into power. They don't adapt to the world. The world must adapt to them. They are not sensitive. They are tyrants of tone. True sensitivity is a gift. This is a throne made of eggshells. Shalu, the thinker who never feels, he is brilliant, logical, precise, but dead inside. This is the over-intellectualized man, armored in reason. Allergic to vulnerability, he builds philosophies to avoid pain. He becomes a god of logic to escape the beast of grief. But what he forgets is this: truth bleeds. Wisdom without wounds is just cowardice in a tuxedo. Shutsi, the shadow that becomes the self. They denied their anger, so now it owns them. They suppressed lust, So now it leaks in every word. This is the person who buried their shadow and became it. Repression does not erase. It transforms. The more you deny your darkness, the more it grows fangs. To integrate is to dance with demons and find your divinity in the abyss. Shiba, the one who thinks this isn't about them. Ah, yes, the final pattern. The one who reads this list and says, yes, I know someone like that. The one who thinks the sword was meant for others. That is the most dangerous illusion of all the illusion of immunity. Every one of you is a cathedral of contradiction. Until you admit that, you are nothing but a liar in robes. Epilogue. The pattern is the person. What you repeat, you become. Not what you hope. Not what you post. Not what you preach. If you want to know someone's truth, watch what they do when no one claps. These 18 psychological patterns are not traps, they are maps. And you, reader, are the terrain. You can continue the performance. Or you can burn the costume, but do not say you were not warned. The fire has spoken. The dance of masks and bones. The 18 have been named, not as curiosities, but as crucibles. You did not hear me. You were trying to agree with me. That is your sickness. The need to agree is a sickness. Agreement is the grave where the free mind goes to rot. You call these patterns wounds. I call them rituals of weakness. You brand yourself with them and call it authenticity. But this is not truth. This is confession without transformation. A theater of vulnerability that fears the fire of becoming. The weak now parade their illnesses like medals and the masses clap, afraid not to. What a charade, a plague of psychological drag queens, each more ornate in their misery than the last. You have confused truth with transparency. But truth is not what you reveal. Truth is what remakes you. I did not name these 18 patterns to soothe you. I named them to separate you from your comfort, from your identity, from your beloved afflictions. You who hide in your pain, you who wrap it in poetry and Instagram captions, you are not free. You are not deep. You are not spiritual. You are a child clutching thorns and calling them a crown. The addiction to identity. Every age has its drug. Yours is called identity. You worship labels as if they were eternal. You say, I'm an empath. I'm an anxious type. I'm an introvert. As if these were divine truths, not temporary prisons. And in doing so, you announce to the world, please, don't expect me to change. I've named my cell and now I call it home. You tattoo your pathology on your soul and call it acceptance. No, you are not your trauma. You are not your temperament. You are not the ghost of your parents' dysfunction. You are what you choose after the mirror shatters. The cult of comfort. The greatest tyrant of your time wears pajamas and whispers. Self-care. You live in a palace of pillows and call it revolution. You numb your senses and call it regulation. You avoid confrontation and call it boundaries. You no longer want truth. You want a lullaby, but no, this truth does not tuck you in. It rips the blankets. It kicks the mattress. It sets your house on fire and tells you, wake up. The soul does not evolve by resting. It evolves by wrestling. But you are addicted to peace without war, growth without rupture, transcendence without dissent. The mirror is a monster, you say. I want to know myself. And yet, when the mirror appears, you run. You want a mirror that flatters. You want reflection, but only if it sings hymns to your ego. But real self-awareness is violence. It is betrayal of who you thought you were. It is the moment you realize I have loved for control. I have served to be seen. I have been kind to be crowned. The mirror shows not your face. It shows your hungry ghosts, your inherited wounds, your recycled violence, your sacred hypocrisy. Most cannot survive the mirror. They smash it and say, that's not me. But I say, if it wounds you, it is yours. The age of the hollow prophet. Everyone speaks now, but no one that is declare. You mistake volume for vision. You think repeating ancient wisdom in a new font makes you a sage. But you do not speak, you regurgitate. You remix truths you've never died for. You write about the shadow, but you've never slept in its mouth. You coach. You mentor. You guide, but you haven't earned a single scar. You read Jung. I descended with him. You quote Rumi. I drank from his wound. You use the gods as hashtags. I use them as mirrors on the cowardice of kindness. What you call kindness is often cowardice in silk. You avoid saying what must be said. You pacify tyrants with politeness. You enable chaos because confrontation makes your skin crawl. But love without ferocity is not love. It is betrayal in soft tones. I do not trust the one who is always kind. I trust the one who will bleed me with truth. Let your voice become a sword. Let your eyes become fire. If you must hurt me to awaken me, do it. Do not let me be polite. Your shadow is not your enemy. The modern mind speaks of the shadow as if it were a cockroach to be managed. But the shadow is not something to be domesticated. It is the wild God within you. You were taught to be safe. I teach you to be sovereign. You were told to integrate your shadow. I say unleash it. Let it scream. Let it dance. Let it paint in blood if it must. Better a furious truth than a tranquil lie. Your demons are not waiting to destroy you. They are waiting to be respected. The lie of being enough. You are enough. They say, how small, how insulting. What a heresy against your potential. You are not enough. You are incomplete on purpose. You are not finished, you are called. Enough is the anthem of the spiritually sedated. The lion is not enough. It is hungry. The God is not enough. It is evolving. You were not born to be enough. You were born to exceed yourself. So reject this lullaby. Refuse to be enough. Become more. The burden of being seen. You crave to be seen, but can you endure it? To be truly seen is to have your masks stripped. It is to stand naked in the storm of someone else's awareness. Not admired. Not praised. Seen. You want visibility without vulnerability. But the price of being known is that your lies rot in public. Do not ask to be seen if you still cling to illusion. Visibility is not light. It is fire, the fetish of the wound. You turn your pain into performance. You monetize your sorrow. You curate your scars. You say healing, but you mean branding. And in doing so, you feed your wound, not your soul. You think speaking about it makes it holy. But some things must be carried in silence to become sacred. Not everything broken wants to be posted. Not every scar belongs on a t-shirt. Some wounds do not want a stage. They want a grave. The God that mirrors you, you made God in your image. A gentle, inclusive, soft-spoken therapist who never challenges your desires. You defanged the divine. You buried the fire. You castrated the sword. You crucified the storm. But the real God, the wild one, still exists in the dark. It speaks in earthquakes. It lives in forbidden thoughts. It breathes in heresy. The real God shatters, not cuddles. The real God burns your holy books and hands you a mirror. The holy sin of becoming, you ask me. What is the goal? There is no goal, only becoming. You ask, what is the meaning? There is no meaning, only the dance. The moment you fix your identity, you have betrayed your essence. You are not a noun. You are a verb, not man, not woman, not child, not elder, but fire, movement, question, paradox. You are not here to arrive. You are here to rupture the new nobility. The future belongs not to the obedient, but to the sovereign, not the safe. but the sacredly unpredictable, not the aligned, but the unapologetically chaotic holy. The new noble does not kneel. He ascends. The new priest does not recite dogma. She births new gods. You must become your own cathedral, your own prophet, your own apocalypse. Burn the scripts. Shatter the lineages. Forge the myth. The age of borrowed truths has ended. Invitation to the few, you who have endured this flame. I speak now to you. You are not many. You are not loud. You are not welcome. But you are chosen not by fate, but by your refusal to stay dead. You have seen the 18 patterns, not as diagnoses, but as devils. You have named them. You have not bowed. So now what will you become? Do not return to sleep. Do not explain yourself to corpses. Do not dim to be digestible. Rise, monster. Rise, God. Rise, truth. The wound is the door. You have stared into the mirror of your patterns. You have not looked away. Good. Now let me tell you what they truly are. Not ours, not shame, but portals. Every wound you carry is a god in disguise. Every neurosis is a serpent biting your foot to awaken you. Every dysfunction is a riddle sent by the abyss. You do not need healing. You need initiation. You do not need balance. You need rupture. Your patterns are not meant to be corrected. They are meant to be transcended through alchemical fire. The wound does not need a bandage. It needs a crown. You must burn to be born. You speak of transformation as if it were a spa treatment. Fools, to transform is to die while alive. To be torn from the womb of your old self and scream into the mouth of chaos. You will lose everything you think you are. Your titles, your temperament, your type, your narrative, all of it ash. And if you're lucky, you'll lose your gods too. Only then will you become worthy of creating new ones. What you call you must go. You cling to your identity like a child clings to a raft in a storm. But I tell you, let go. The you defend is not real. It is a museum of borrowed beliefs, inherited fears, and adaptive lies. You call it personality. I call it armor made of ancestors and trauma. Drop it, and what remains? The divine wild, the unspeakable flame, the chaos beast, the sovereign soul. It will not be polite. It will not be liked. It will not be understood. It will be true. The sacred monster awakens. The next version of you is not an improvement. It is a rebellion. It is not more functional, it is more feral. You will not fit better into society. You will devour it with your eyes. You will not be better liked. You will be feared by cowards and desired by the wild. You will not be more comfortable. You will be untouchable. The sacred monster does not ask for permission. It simply becomes. Power is not evil cowardice. They have taught you to fear your own power. They said it's dangerous, that it corrupts, that it leads to evil. But I tell you this, evil does not come from power. It comes from repressed power. The man who fears his dominance becomes manipulative. The woman who fears her rage becomes resentful. The human who fears their light becomes a shadow factory. Power, when embodied, becomes clarity. Cowardice, when spiritualized, becomes a virus. You cannot save those who cling to their chains. You are tempted, aren't you, to share what you've seen, to liberate others, to become the healer, the guide, the light. Stop. They do not want freedom. They want comfort wrapped in sacred language. They want permission to stay small while talking big. You cannot awaken the sleeper who dreams of righteousness. You cannot rescue those who worship their victimhood. Let them rot with dignity. The lion does not mourn for sheep who choose the fence. Truth is not a democracy. There are those who will call you cruel. Good. They are correct. Truth is cruel to the lie. Fire is cruel to the wax. You will not be accepted. You will not be understood. You are not meant to be. You are a fracture in the hive mind. A blasphemy in the temple. A violation of the polite performance of progress. Truth is not kind. Truth is holy violence. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be divine distortion. Your light will attract parasites. You rise, and suddenly they come. The leeches in robes of need. The seekers of your glow. The thirsty who never drink from themselves. They will love you until you set boundaries. They will praise you until you say no. They will call you toxic the moment you stop bleeding for their thirst. Do not become a fountain for the unthirsty. You are not here to quench. You are here to ignite. Let them burn or let them go. You are not a role. You are a realm. You are not the healer. Not the wise one. Not the empath. Not the awakened. These are names for the small. You are not a title. You are not a summary. You are a realm infinite. Shifting, violent in your grace. You contain oceans that rage and lullabies that scream. Do not reduce your fire to a niche. The gods do not specialize. They exist in totality. Love is not what you think. Love is not accepting everything. That is surrender to entropy. Love is not soft. It is selective annihilation. Love says, this must die for you to live. Love wounds. Love tears. Love unmasks. Love does not let you stay small. It drags you kicking into your birth. If your love is always gentle, it is not love. It is neglect with good PR. True love always ends something. False self. False story. False safety. Love is holy violence for the soul's sake. The final enemy is sentimentality. Your greatest enemy is not hate. It is not fear. It is sentimentality, the syrup that rots truth's teeth. Sentimentality lets you keep your parents' lies because they meant well. It lets you stay in the wrong job because they're nice people. It lets you choke your soul because, what will people think? Sentimentality is the barbed wire made of nostalgia. Cut it, bleed, and walk free. There will be no applause. You will change. You will rise. You will become unfathomable to those who once loved you, and there will be no parade. No one will clap when you finally tell the truth. No one will bake you a cake when you say, I am no longer available to suffer. You will lose followers. You will be mocked, pitied, feared. Good. That means you're not building an audience. You're building a soul. This is not a healing. It is a hatching. You are not being healed. You are shedding. You are not fixing. You are dismantling. You are not becoming better. You are becoming free. Do not let the world turn your awakening into a workshop. Do not let the vultures brand your becoming. Do not let the soft-handed priests neuter your fire with rituals of shame. You are not being held. You are being born. The sacred wound is now open. You thought this was a list, a teaching, a speech. It was a scalpel. And now you are open, not bleeding, but ready. For what? Not more patterns, not more systems, not more gurus, but for your own voice to return, the one you buried beneath politeness, beneath pressure, beneath patterns. Call it now, stand naked, and scream yourself into existence. You are no longer one of them, you feel it. Don't you? The severance. You walk among them, but you are not with them. You laugh, but your laughter has fangs now. You speak, but your tongue is fire wrapped in flesh. You are becoming what they warned you about. You no longer hunger for their approval. You no longer bow to their gods. You no longer pretend that their games are sacred. You are an exile among your own kind, a prophet among sleepwalkers. You are no longer one of them. You are becoming one of you. The grave of the herd is comfort. Do not envy the herd. They are not at peace. They are anesthetized. They sleep with eyes open. They dream their opinions. They vote their fear. They kneel to convenience. They think sameness is salvation. They think agreement is divinity, but they are dead, dressed in brunch, slogans, and streaming subscriptions. They hate you not because you are wrong. They hate you because you are free. You are a reminder that something else is possible, and that terrifies them. The divine war has already begun. You did not choose this path. The path chose you when your old gods died and left you breathing. This is not self-help. This is self-destruction for resurrection. You are now the soldier of something unspeakable. You are the scream that will not be silenced. You are the rebellion that does not seek allies, only clarity. You will wage war on lies, with truth as your only sword and solitude as your only kingdom. You will not be invited. You will not be understood. You will be inevitable. The gods you create will be terrible and beautiful. Now you must build. From the ashes of your masks, a face. From the ruins of your beliefs, a cathedral. From the whispers of your wound, a new language. You will sculpt gods with blood and lightning. They will be terrible because they are real. They will demand not worship, but becoming. They will not offer comfort. They will offer power. You will not pray to them. You will merge with them. You are no longer a believer. You are a creator. The world will not end, you will. The apocalypse they fear is not out there. It is you. You are the end of repetition, the end of excuse, the end of inherited cowardice, the end of the family lie, the end of the false peace between men and their shadows. You are not sent to save the world. You are sent to end the version of yourself that needed saving, and from that ending, something sacred and unnamed will rise. The sacred few will hear this and bleed. Not many will read this. Even fewer will finish it. And among those, most will nod but not act. But a few will feel their bones vibrate. A few will feel an ancient memory return. A few will weep, not because they are sad, but because they are seen. To them, I say, you are not broken. You are birthing. You are not too much. You are the exact amount of God that this world can barely contain. You are not behind. You are timeless. The new prayer has no words. There will come a day when you no longer need mantras, no affirmations, no spiritual scripts. You will wake up in silence and know. You will walk into a room and bend the air. You will sit beside someone and shift their DNA with your presence. You will stop seeking because you will become what you were looking for. The new prayer is not spoken. It is embodied. Truth is not a destination. It is a devouring you will never arrive. That is the miracle. There is no summit. Only the thrill of climbing cliffs that weren't supposed to exist. The more you burn, the more you reveal. The more you reveal, the more must be slain. And each death is not a failure. It is a feast for the eternal self. Truth is not a door you walk through once. Truth is the dragon that eats you. Again and again, until only God remains. The voice you silenced will now speak. There is a voice, buried under education, under religion, under obedience, under broken hearts. Betrayals. Betrayals of self. This voice was not extinguished, only silenced. It did not die. It watched. It waited. It waited for the day your masks cracked and your patterns failed and your gods fell silent. That voice has your name, but not the name you were given, the name you were before birth. And now that voice speaks again. Listen, you were not meant to heal. You were meant to awaken. Enough healing, enough processing, enough waiting to be ready. You are ready when you say you are. You are whole the moment you dare to live unfiltered. You are sacred, not because you healed the wound, but because you stepped forward with it bleeding. You don't need to be healed. You need to be unleashed. Let the pain stay. Let the past stay. Let it all be fuel for your combustion. The final pattern to break thinking you are alone. You think no one else feels this way. You think you are the first. You think you are a freak. But I say you are the prototype. The echo before the storm. The howl before the gods return. There are others, few, scattered, trembling, who are feeling this fire too. They do not post about it. They live it, and they are waiting for you. They are not many, but they are enough. The prophecy is not a future, it is a return. This was not a prediction. It was a memory. This truth is not new. It is ancient, buried under centuries of compromise and sermons. You are not being called forward. You are being called back to your first form. Your pre-language soul, the one who howled before it spoke, the one who devoured before it digested, the one who remembered that God was not a parent but an instinct. This is not evolution. This is resurrection. The ending is a beginning you refused. And now we stand at the precipice. The sermon is over. The patterns have been burned. The masks are ash. What remains is not understanding. What remains is activation. You know who you are now, or at least who you are not. And that is enough to start. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You don't need signs from the sky. You need only to begin moving like the God you are. Final words to the newborn divine. You will be hated. You will be worshipped. You will be misunderstood. You will be unchained. Speak what should not be spoken. Go where they told you not to go. Love who breaks you open. Create what breaks the rules. Become what burns the books and writes new ones in bone. And when the old world calls you evil, arrogant, dangerous, smile. Smile, the smile of the eternal, the smile of one who remembers. I am Nietzsche. I did not come to comfort you. I came to remind you of the fire. It is not time to awaken the masses. It is time to awaken the ones who never truly slept.